Tons of new crossover events coming to Identity 5. For more news like this, stick around for this week's episode of This Week in Identity 5. Welcome back to another episode of This Week in Identity 5, guys. We got not a lot last week, actually. The patch notes were like one paragraph, that was pretty much it. Last week we got the character Lucino officially released to all players. So previously, the week before that, he was released only in the Essence, but now we have access to buy him in the store, along with his special B tier that comes along with it. There's actually quite a nice B tier. I have seen quite a few professors in the game, and I would say that he's in a pretty good place right now. I would still say he is pretty much good set in A tier as being a good kiter and not a bad pick if you want to do solo ranking, for example. Although that was not actually put in the patch notes, we did get something that was put in the patch notes, and that was the Flywheel effect nerf. And it was pretty big, if I'm honest. There were three things that were changed about Flywheel effect. First, the dash duration was put from 0.5 to 0.4. 0.1 or 0.2 seconds can actually change an ability completely, and is one of the reasons why Sculpton is not as consistent as she used to be, is because of her 0.2 nerf to one of her abilities. The dash range of the ability has gone from 5 meters to 3.5 meters. That is huge. So it's less consistent at giving you good range and distance now. And also the cooldown has been extended by an extra 20 seconds. It's not 100 now, it's 120 seconds. Fair enough, but it's still, that's a big cooldown extension, and it's not like an extra couple of seconds, it's an extra 20 seconds. On the night of the Saturday and the morning of the Sunday, we got a small patch update because there were some bugs in the game, and we actually got some compensation for that too. There was a rank essence and I think a couple of clues too. So that's nice to have because some of us that don't play rank, for example me, we got a free rank essence. Hey, that's cool. Oh, and also we worked out who the winner was from the best deduction performance star skin event thingamajiggy, and the winner was Geisha with a massive amount of votes with her great skin. And I do think it's a really good skin, and I'm looking forward to seeing her special S tier that they will make for her soon, I assume. Let's talk about what we will get this week with this week's update. Well, okay, first of all, we're getting 3 character days. On the 11th, that is actually before the patch update, we'll be getting Embalmer's character day. Forward is having his character day, or his birthday, on the 15th of this month. After a year and a half of his character release, Undead is finally getting his first character day on the 18th of this month, and I am so hyped about this. I was complaining about how he's the only character who hasn't had a character day since his own release. He's finally getting it, and he's finally getting his first portrait. This is so exciting. Something that we're kind of losing on the patch update as well is that we're losing the Koa 4, well technically Koa 3, Koa 4, Coordinator skin and Dreamwitch skin that were for the champions from the previous years, and we're also going to be losing that Wildling skin that was connected to Koa 4. They'll be leaving the store, along with Soul Weaver's B tier because of that weird fiasco where some people could get the skin and then they had to release it so everyone could get it, that kind of stuff. Unless they release any news on the day of this release of this video, there's nothing else that's been confirmed for this week. There is a little bit of an issue because recently I've noticed that NetEase doesn't actually like to release stuff recently that is confirmed to be coming out that week. They like to give us things that might be coming out 3-4 weeks, but they don't seem to have a very good schedule released to us. We just seem to kind of be like assuming when things are coming out and then having to wait until the day before they come out before we know that they're coming out. Let's talk about some leaks, some rumors, and what we can expect from the future. We've got 3 different crossover events coming. We've got the Link Click crossover, the Bungo Stray Dogs crossover. You guys know that I haven't watched it because of the way I pronounced it. And we also got the Arnold and Puppets crossover that will be coming relatively soon. I can imagine within the next couple of months, since they usually like to release these things within 2 months of having announced them. So I understand that Link Click and Bungo Stray Dogs are different animes. I have never heard of them, never even seen the names before. I have no clue what they're about, although some people have explained them to me. I completely forgotten what they were all about. But I have seen some pictures of these characters that might be coming with the Link Click crossover, and I think that's cool. That's all I really have to say about this. I know that a lot of people are excited about this, the same way that the Promised Neverland people were really excited about, and Danganronpa. These things are kind of things that most people have never heard of, if we're honest. and we're just kind of getting introduced to what they are because of this. I had never heard of Danganronpa before, so this is a good way of getting some culture for me because I don't know about any of these things. As for the Arnold and Puppets crossover, I'm not completely sure what it is. I think it's something to do with puppets, or maybe I don't know if it's a game or some type of other brand. But I do like the aesthetics from the trailer, and it would be cool to see what they do, even if it is just giving us pets. Another event that we do have confirmed that's coming in December. It's really surprising that they've announced it now and it's coming all the way at the end of this year. But that is the Ashes of Memory event. That seems to be, in what I could tell from what I assumed and what I've heard through rumors, must be connected to the story of the circus. This is where all the characters are involved with acrobat, clown, wildling, all of these characters must be connected to this story, and I can imagine this is going to be a similar style event to the Time of Reunion, where they put quite a lot of effort into videos. As I said, and I've talked about this in my streams before, the Time of Reunion event was one of my favorite events and is my favorite event that's ever happened in Identity 5, and I really love that Identity 5 are putting a lot of effort into at least one event per year where there's a lot of story, a lot of stuff to do, and maybe they'll release tons of characters at the same time. I'm not completely sure. NetEase has also leaked some character designs per se, and I'm not completely sure when they're coming out because they've announced 2 new characters. One of them is a new hunter and one of them is a new survivor. I would assume that these characters are going to come out more or less at the same time, and I don't know if this is going to be something that's a special event similar to the patient and the psychologist where they're connected or something like that, or if these characters were just announced by accident similarly at similar times. They do have a similar vibe to them, a similar color style, but that could just be designed by the same style of artists. But we've got the Hermit that is a new hunter and the Antiquarian that is a new survivor, and a lot of people are theorizing. I think the Hermit is going to be similar to the Doctor in Dead by Daylight, or at least some way like that. He definitely has some type of lightning skills with his mechanical staff that's also technically wood. And the Antiquarian must do something with music, maybe charming the hunter. I wish that they might do something a little bit more than just charming, because I don't want another stun character or another pushback hunter. I would like them to do something a little bit more creative than that. Maybe it can just help with kiting, that would be quite good. Or I also do think that she might have some type of decoding debuff, because she might not be very good with the new technology. So this could be one of her debuffs. So I do think she might be a strong character if they're going to debuff her decoding. Something that was announced as of the day of this recording, pretty much as soon as I noticed it this morning, I was like excited, because we also got a new Barmaid skin revealed to us that is a summer beach theme. And of course, most games are now making summery themes because the summer is coming up, and it is a really, really nice skin. I think she's wearing some very nice clothes. I don't know if she has any type of accessory with this, but the skin is very nice. And I'm sure that a lot of people are very excited about this, because Barmaid is kind of not exactly a fan favorite, but she has a very core follower, and a lot of people do love her as a character design. I do think she is very, very cool looking. Let's move on to the Talk in the Manor, where I respond to your comments that you guys left on my recent videos. I did a recent collaboration with Music Man, so I'm going to respond to some of the comments on that video. Soup Should Get Good says, I mainly ban Seer since I don't play chip damage hunters. Seer can buy at least another 10 seconds for a kite, and in rank, especially as a non-meta hunter, is a lot. 10 seconds of decoding, healing, getting to another cipher, etc. is a very big advantage for survivors in rank. Yeah, I would say that Seer is one of the most common bans for hunters to ban when they ban survivors, because I think he's just a very good and strong, consistent character that does counter a lot of meta characters and also does counter most non-meta hunters. Even characters that have chip damage do suffer against Seer, because Seers that are playing seriously and well, of course, are going to use the owl to block the main hits instead of the chip damage hits. Of course, you can try and bait and hit the owl with the chip damage, but most people would use insta owls to be able to see that the hunter is about to attack and then block it. Wombo comments, I always ban Naiad. I'm Mammoth Griffin player. I'm just really bad at kiting her. I saw from the comments that a lot of people are banning Naiad, and I didn't realize that she was so oftenly banned. I knew that she was banned semi-often, but I didn't know that everybody was banning her. And especially in mid to high tiers, she's getting quite banned quite often. I think it's mostly just due to people not knowing how to kite her, as exactly as Wumbo said. I don't think that she's as strong as people say. She hasn't made much of an impression in the Koa tournaments at all, and I don't think that she's just consistent enough. But it seems like a lot of people are worried about kiting her, and if you don't kite her, you don't get any practice, so you never know how good you're going to be against her. That is kind of an issue. I do think she's strong. I just think that she's more of a tie hunter than she is more of a 3 to 4k hunter, from what I've seen anyway, but I don't really play Survivor, so I'm not completely sure. On the video with the longest pallet stuns and so on like that, I'm going to read some comments there. Archangel comments, you should have used Postman's Letter and Entomologist's Honey to make it even faster. You have a good point there. I didn't think about going to duos for the fastest vaulting, but I'm not really sure exactly how far you'd be able to push the vaulting speed, because you know, once you're sub 1 second, it becomes kind of negligible how long the vaulting is, because it's like less than half a second, especially because it was 0.41 milliseconds, so it's less than half a second. I guess you might be able to push it to like 0.30 something, but there is like a cap that I noticed when we were trying the pallet stun from Mad Eyes. It didn't really go over 13 seconds. Or it did go over, but it wouldn't go up to 14 seconds. Because, for example, when we didn't initially have as many dancers as we had planned, I started off with just 1 dancer, and then later on brought in 2 more dancers for the longest pallet stun, and it was actually only 13 seconds in the first one with only 1 dancer, and it only got close to 14 seconds or halfway to 14 seconds with the other 2 dancers. That I think mathematically doesn't make sense, but I'm not completely sure. Which crossover are you most excited for? The Link Click one, maybe the Bungo Stray Dog one, or maybe the Arnold and Puppets one? Please tell me down in the comments below. And whilst you're down there, remember to like and subscribe if you like this kind of content and would like to get more news every single week. Check out the Black Phoenix Plus channel for more different updates and updates on the day of the release of the patch to see exactly what came out that day. Have an amazing day, guys. Oop, I just hit my microphone. Have an amazing day, guys. Bye bye.